wool on.
Got that shit on.
AJ roll everything. I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting older now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going pro 4 in the fucking white sand. I give it all to this fucking mic.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means.
I'm gonna say desert.
Okay. Pull that thing up then, damn it.
Yee.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I am Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is Nice and Neat. And fellas. Hey, look, you know that's funny. Me and O, we went to Turks and Caicos years back. It was a group of guys, group of girls.
Yep.
And whenever it was time to leave the house was big, so it was time to leave the house. You just be like, fellas.
Everybody round up the girls. Get
your girl. But fellas, speaking of your girls, right?
Yeah.
We got an episode where we touching on the ladies. This one get a little tentative
For the ladies.
We got a lot of female listeners. We have a good number of male listeners in this episode for everybody. This episode's for everybody. We're gonna be talking about different ways to approach a conversation where you gotta kind of like self-correct your girl. Kind of like show her the right way. Show her how something should be done, because how she's been doing it just ain't been it. Whether it was a previous situation that she had that kind of taught her like this is appropriate and this is how I typically handle it, or not. I know from my experiences, I've dealt with women who have dealt with men who they weren't really trustworthy of, and they kind of put that on me. And certain things have happened that I had to correct, but we'll get into that in the episode. Fellas, do you have experiences where you self-correcting your girl?
Of course. If you ask me about a particular situation.
I like details. We like details.
Oh, man. I can't think of one personal to me right now that's happened in my personal relationship with Candace. But in the past, with other women that I've dated, I've had to self-correct my girl on how I feel she should communicate and interact with other men. You know, there was a situation where my girl, I just felt like she was having too much conversation.
Is it too friendly?
It was just too friendly.
Yeah.
It was just too friendly. She didn't do anything wrong. You know.
She was allowing the door to be open for him.
She was just allowing the door to be open. And I didn't like that, because men going to take that opportunity. Or they're at least going to try to take that opportunity and run with it. So, you know, I had to pull my woman aside and let her know that that particular interaction that you had with him doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it's conducive for our relationship if you continue to move like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, man, I definitely, when you say self-correct, right, I'm going to just assume that you mean like, how do I let my girl know that she did something wrong?
Yeah.
All right? Like, if I'm going to check my woman, how do I do it respectfully?
Yep.
Right? How do I do it to in a sense that it's not overbearing and it's not disrespectful and it's not just, you know, hyper masculine and all that, right? And I still make her feel like that she's important, right? And I think definitely it happens, you know. It's definitely happened in my relationship, but I've also been checked. You know,
Same.
I've also been checked, so it's kind of
checked all the time.
Them is the best women.
That's just kind of how it goes. But I do think it's important that we talk about this, because I know there's a lot of people kind of struggling on how to voice their displeasure with someone, right? So, you know, a lot of times guys don't necessarily know how to let their girl know that, like, yo, I ain't like that, right? Maybe it's because their woman is, you know, hyper emotional, or maybe she's gonna get mad, or maybe just don't feel comfortable being vulnerable in that sense, because to express that you don't like something, you have to be vulnerable, right? A woman that's not really ready to hear that could say, like, yo, like, why you so insecure?
Yeah.
So it opens up that gateway for those kind of conversations, right? So super important to understand how to, you know, when you see your girl doing something, or if you see your man doing something, yo, there's a specific, not a specific, but there's like a cordial way to handle this, right? Every situation doesn't have to be rah-rah and bring out like the beast in you and where we're just gonna argue and stuff. And I think it's super important because that's how you have productive conversations. That's how you have solutions.
Yeah. When you get good, that beast doesn't even have to show up.
Yeah.
No.
So, and that's not saying that feelings aren't going to be hurt and, you know, no one's going to be upset, but there's a way to handle it that's going to diffuse a problem, and there's a way to do it where it's going to escalate a problem.
I'm glad you said that about feelings being hurt, because sometimes that's really like just having uncomfortable conversations. And like in order to like truly like, I guess, correct someone, you got to really understand them.
Yeah.
Right. Know like what makes them tick. Know, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's certain there are rules to arguing.
Yeah.
You know.
There are rules, unwritten ones.
There are unwritten rules to arguing. You know. So like understanding your partner, what's gonna make them, you know, go over, or what's gonna have them be receptive to what you're saying. You know. And then you could begin to correct. But if you don't understand your partner, it's kind of hard to start correcting, because in that sometimes that person could almost feel like you're talking down to them.
Yeah.
You know.
That's important.
You know, and that you don't want your partner to feel like they're being talked down to. You want your
Right.
partner to feel like an equal, you know, on the same level as you, and that I'm talking to you, not at you. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's even prior to coming into a conflict, right, to where you're like, okay, now it's time for me to check this person. Your partner, your girl, she gotta already understand that it is a safe place.
Yeah.
Already prior to getting checked, because everybody goes on the defense when you get checked. Because obviously you wake up every single day and you say, I'm gonna do everything the way that I'm supposed to do it, and then somebody tell you you're not. I'm on defense. What do you mean that I'm? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, so presenting a safe place already prior to the check-in, extremely important. And like that also comes with how patient are you as a person? You know, what's your tone of voice when you're talking? And those things I've realized extremely important. Like Duke said, you may be dealing with somebody that's like hypersensitive, but the message still has to get across.
Yeah. It's all about how you deliver that message, though.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. For sure.
You know?
For sure. For sure. For sure. And we're going to get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, so I think because I've had a lot, plenty of conversations with Chanel, right? And we've had arguments just like everyone else, you know? And some of those arguments stem from me telling her that I thought what you did was wrong, you know? And I felt like the times that I've told her, the times that I didn't think about how I was saying something, and I was just not aware of my tone of voice and the context, those are the times when they exploded and the argument and dispute kind of just lasted longer.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys know when you guys get in those spaces, it's real friction.
Yep.
You know, but the times that I kind of came at her with just patience and respect, I was like, yo, I'm gonna let you know you did something wrong. But okay, one, we mentioned tone of voice, right? So be aware of your tone of voice, right? Context, but also solution.
Yeah.
Because if you tell her she's wrong, and she said, "What do you want me to do?" and you say, "I don't know," then you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Be upfront about the solution. Right? Provide some exact. Okay, when you say, "Yo, I don't like that you did this," she said, "Well, what did I do?" It's not the moment right there to say, "Oh, I don't know. I just don't like how you. I don't like how you acting." Nah, be specific. Tell her exactly what she did wrong.
Exact recall.
Exact. So
Yeah.
there's no gray area of her trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about, and also we talk about correcting, and we say things like correcting and checking, and it's not a disrespectful term. So I want you guys to just, make a big deal about that. We're simply saying, just letting somebody know that they're wrong, right? So when it comes to that, man, I just think for me, I just have to check my tone of voice. I have to just make sure that I'm using certain words that diffuse
Timing.
right? I use a lot of baby,
Yeah.
right? Because I could still not like what you did, but still be in a good place with you, right? So I was like, yo, baby, I didn't agree with that. I don't like that. As opposed to, what the f is wrong with you? or why did you do that? It's two completely different.
Leave the
tones,
cuss words out.
You know,
Yeah.
two completely, and you're gonna get two completely different reactions. Both reactions may say, both reactions may sting, or both feelings may sting, but ultimately she's gonna remember, the way you came at her and say, you know what, I was tripping. You're right.
Yeah.
But even if she's wrong, if you come at her a certain way, even if she's wrong, she's not gonna admit it.
Yep.
Like, like you came at me, now we both arguing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've really learned from my experience, especially in this relationship with Candace. And I've learned more about myself in this relationship than I have any other relationship in my life. And we've talked about it before. Like, one of my weaknesses that I know that I have, that I've been working on like daily, is just like my tone and my delivery when I'm, conversing with people. And I've learned so much that, one, if I take time to respond, and I don't know about you, Duke, but I've had this problem before in the past, and I don't know if it's because we're athletes, we play defense, so we're always reacting. I don't know if that's played a part or has some type of factor in the reason why I do it, but sometimes I just react so quickly without even really thinking, defensive almost. Right? Play defense. I don't know if that has any type of correlation. I don't know. But what I've learned is that when I take my time and I think about my response, I get a much better reaction, and I'm able to get through with my point across, and the correction that I'm trying to fix in that moment, But when I'm angry, and cause it's easy for all of us to get angry and raise your voice, that's the easy thing to do. Taking your time, what I've learned personally, taking my time, listening, and then knowing and understanding my partner, what's going to make them tick, and then delivering my response has allowed me to progress so much further in this relationship, and quote unquote correcting the person when I feel they done something
now,
that I don't agree with.
In situations where you don't have to react, right? Let's say you just don't like something, right? What's that process like for you? You feel me? Because like if I understand, if I come to you and I say something and I ignite something, and I'm the cause of your reaction, right? But let's say you're sitting on something, i.e., the way you're talking to other men, right? How does that conversation, right, before, like most of the time, how does that conversation go for you?
Hey, babe.
How soon do you approach it? Like, let's say you was out earlier that day, you seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I think we talked about this earlier, or on a previous episode. Everything's about timing.
Yeah.
So just because you see it right then and there doesn't mean it's the appropriate time to act on it or to address the situation. I always feel like the perfect time to address situations is when you guys get home.
Right.
You guys are by yourselves, and you guys are private, and you guys can have a real discussion, and not have to worry about other people being in your business.
What about in the car?
I don't like the car. I don't like the car. The car is a sticky situation for me. It then sometimes the car rides become uncomfortable.
The car's not conducive for that.
Nah, one person's driving, so they're not really fully paying attention.
Yeah.
It's like talking to you like this. And sometimes I'm not even looking. So I don't really like the car. I definitely like addressing the situation when we get home. Sitting down face to face, we're both calm, relaxed, in a nice, peaceful state of mind. I think that's the best for me.
I hate the car because, like, honestly, I feel like I'm the most cold in the car.
Cold. Yeah.
I'm the most cold. I'm driving. Don't talk to me.
Yep.
I don't feel like talking
Already.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm driving, or because I'm looking on the road, you talking to my ear.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm just, the connection is just not.
It's not there.
The attention. So, yeah, I'm just cold. So don't talk to me crazy in the car.
Nah.
Yeah, you already saying that is interesting because it's a man's job to submit to his woman's need to feel loved. If you already approach the conversation cold, it's not going to go the right way. Already. So that's incredible.
Because your energy.
Because your energy.
Yeah.
Because it's a man's job to like submit to a woman's need to feel loved, in every single situation, every single approach, you have to approach it with love. So you have to get your mind ready to approach it with love, because it's just like, yo, I didn't like that. That's not love.
Yeah.
That's not love. You may want to say it's love. That's not what she feels. That's not what she sees. So when you say it's like in the car and you already aware of that, you're already halfway to the prize right there. Because if you have the conversation in the car, first of all, Duke, I've rode in the car with Duke and talked to him. Duke don't make eye contact in the car.
Nope.
So he's already talking to you looking straight like this. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't really like that. It's cold. Energy's there. It's there.
Cold. It's giving up that I don't give a.
Yeah. Shit, that's not, it wouldn't be conducive. So, you know, like you're already halfway there. I feel you though. I've made the mistake of having conversations in the car.
That's what I'm saying. It's a mistake.
It's a mistake. And it's dark.
It's a mistake.
They can't see your facial expression.
It's dark.
You know, it's dark. The car's a mistake. Okay, so now let's fast forward. You get to the house. You begin the conversation.
Yeah, got to.
Babe,
let's sit down. I got something I want to talk about. You know, earlier, Laze, I know it was innocent, but I just didn't like how you were, you know, speaking in his ear. It just didn't look good to me. You know.
The optics was bad, babe.
The optics was bad, you know. And I feel like that's how you would address the situation, with the calm, level head, but not the. So what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
Like that's just the wrong way to go about it.
Is there ever a time to approach it like that?
Nah,
Ever?
Nah. So here's the deal, and it's not fair, but that's just what it is. It's not fair. You just said that it should as a man, it's your job to meet it with love. Even if you disagree with it, meet it with love and express yourselves in a manner where it's just like, yo, we could actually move from this, right? It's not fair because, you know, there's probably men listening going to say, well, my woman just talks to me however she wants. And when she got a problem, she just says whatever she wants. She screams. And so why we can't do that, right? That's kind of the dynamic that we were born with.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I set the tone, and if I set the tone, and my tone is, and my energy is loving energy, even if she's mad, at some point, we're gonna get back to that because she's gonna follow my lead. But if now my energy is erratic and just violent and just aggressive, right? It's just gonna be like that because whose lead you gonna follow? You're not gonna follow her lead. She's gonna follow your lead. So if you're aggressive, that's what she's gonna do. You know what I mean? So when I talk about different ways to check your woman, it ain't about telling her what to do or putting her in her place. It's about, this is how you have tough conversations with her. This is how you express yourself to her in a manner that's conducive to your relationship, that's healthy for your relationship. Are you guys gonna be mad at each other? Of course. Yeah. But it's a certain way to put it out there where we could be mad and get back to what we got to get back to. You know, we're trying to minimize disagreement. We're trying to minimize friction. And I think that, like, we're all different. We all have different personalities. You may be aggressive and you may be quiet, right? But at the end of the day, for most of us, generally, there's certain ways that I believe is better to conduct ourselves when we're talking about conflict with our women, you know? And I feel like if we meet it, and it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
You have to let go of the ego, man.
It's not easy because it's natural for us to be like,
yeah,
man, she not even receiving the little bit I am giving her. I'm taking all of it back.
Yep.
All right, whatever. So we just gonna have a bad night.
Yep.
And I've been there.
That's so easy to happen.
And I've been there, you know, because like it's easy. We can disconnect.
Yep.
We can disconnect, and the ego that we have is going to tell us, yo, I could take this further than you.
Yep.
I could take this further than you.
It's funny you mentioned love though, and I just mentioned ego, and they can't exist at the same time.
No, they can't.
They can't. They can't. So you're either gonna be loving or you're either gonna be egotistical.
Yeah.
You can either choose to be fire,
Yeah.
and your girl turns into octane, or you could be a seed and she could be water.
Oh,
You know.
Come on, cuz.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like that.
I feel you.
There's two ways we could go about this situation.
Pick one, dog.
Pick one.
Pick one. You know.
Damn.
Pick one.
And speaking to just like in the midst of things, right? When you just might be confused, like, man, I don't know how to approach it. I always tell people, just mirror exactly how you want them to be.
Yep.
What you want from them, give them that. Don't matter how they're acting. What you want from them, give them that. Show them the mirror. Show them the mirror. This is where we at with it. You yelling, okay, look, babe, I'm sorry. I didn't want to take it there. I didn't want to take it there. I know the conversation is uncomfortable. Another thing that's really important that I never speak to isolated situations.
Yeah.
If I speak to some, it's like, so we don't have the problem again. So like as Duke was talking about the solution, I'm not just gonna give you the problem. Like it's like, nah, like the reason why I'm addressing this situation is because it could come up again and it could look like this. So I want to talk about it now so it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, and I even want to talk about it. I see that you did it and I want to even address it to where I don't do it. So like what makes you uncomfortable about this situation as well? Being able to like have the full conversation 360 is extremely important, because not only what it looks like that you did it, like what would it look like if I did it, you know, as well. And like, how can we like prevent it moving forward, and how can it not happen? Like, let's not have this conversation again. Not this one.
Yeah. Like, is your woman probably still going to be upset?
Probably.
Right? But she's not going to be upset in 2 days.
Nah.
It's not going to linger. She's going to say, yeah, of course. No one likes to be corrected like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just part of just our human nature. But I think the point of it is to just eliminate unnecessary drama.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And I feel like we've been conditioned to just think that we have to. We think that not liking something or we think that dislike and anger is synonymous. Right?
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's
For
not.
sure.
It's not.
I can still be happy with you. I can still be in a loving mood with you and tell you I ain't like
I didn't
that.
like that. Yep.
Right? And once we have to normalize the fact that the two, we have to learn how to disconnect the two. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, when my girl, when I tell my girl, yo, I don't like that. Like, I tell my girl I don't like that she did something. She doesn't associate it with the I'm mad at her, or I'm coming for her a character, or I'm attacking her. So yeah, I simply didn't like that. Yo, I just had to let you know that, so it doesn't keep happening. But I'm still gonna kiss you and cuddle with you right now and open this door for you and ask you if you want to get something to eat and all these things. And that's important.
Yeah.
Right? You can't let those things stop you. It's not 100% because I've literally been there.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's just best for the relationship.
Yeah. It's not fair. It's not fair. You kind of touched on this. It's not fair, but it's almost, it's fucked up that it happens like this, but we almost have the power for it not to go like to overboard every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Every time.
Yes.
If you literally say, "Hey babe, listen, come here. Let me
Extend that olive branch.
extend." If we decide to do that every time, there will never be a problem. It's most of the time though, it's just like, man, I'm not trying to give that olive branch.
It's just not a perfect
Nah,
world.
yeah.
It's
That's
not a
the
perfect
thing, 'cause
world.
We got emotions too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we really have the power to diffuse it every time.
Yeah. But
You
like
know-
you go ahead, bro.
We have emotions, and it's like, I want her to feel.
My shit.
I have emotions.
Yeah.
And I want her to feel this.
Right.
Like we
Yeah.
talk about this, and it's just like, when do I get an opportunity to show that my emotions exist?
I want to express myself.
I want to express myself, and I want her to know how I'm feeling, right? I think where the disconnect happens with us is we want to say that and we want people to feel us, but we want them to do it without us being vulnerable. So it's like, I'm not going to let her know exactly how I feel. I just want her to feel the cold shoulder rather than saying like, hey, yo, you hurt me when you did that. And it really hurt my feelings. I'm not even going to lie. I've gotten so much more bees with that type of honey.
Yeah. You know, but bro, it's crazy because it's going to sound funny, right? Because it's so simple. Like, Candace tells me this sometimes when we'll be arguing, like, use your words, right? Use your words, bro. But a lot of times people don't know how to truly articulate how they're feeling.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell you, it's hard to explain, yo, that shit bothered me because of, and it's being vulnerable. It's because of something that happened to me back then, that whoop-de-whoop, you know? It's like,
And I've seen this before.
and I've seen it before. It's hard for men to get to that point. And until you could truly get to that point, it's hard to actually gain progress in, you know, correcting your woman.
Man, you know, I always tell Chanel too, man. Sometimes I try to do to her what I would expect her to do to me, right? So sometimes she will say she has a problem with something, right? But not specific. She says something like, yo, you're acting different. I don't like how you're acting. I'll say, okay, well, what did I do to make you think that, right? And then she will say, I don't know, you're just acting different. But she knows exactly what I did to make her feel that. She doesn't want to tell me because if she hears herself say it, I may think it's stupid, right? And it puts her in a vulnerable place.
Yep.
To have to use your words.
To have to use her word. So for me, I tell her, yo, when I make sure that when I bring something to her and I say, hey, yo, like, I don't like that you did this. I don't care if it's stupid, right? Because something that's stupid could be like, yo, I don't like the fact that we were in the gym and after, or I don't like the fact that we're in the gym together and we were on a treadmill and after you got done with the treadmill, you just went to squat and you didn't let me know. It could be something like that, right? Mm-hmm. But if I have a problem with that, as stupid, as childish as that sounds, I'm going to tell her.
Yep.
Because she needs to know.
She needs to know.
That's where I'm at.
Her partner needs to know.
So I can't tell you. So what I'm saying is if you tell someone, right, or correct someone and you tell her that you got a problem with something, have the evidence to show her, like, this is what happened. This is why I'm upset. So there's no guessing game. Mm-hmm. Right? So now you guys can move forward onto the next step. Yo, here's why I don't want you to do it again. Then here's what we're going to do about it moving forward. Mm-hmm. You know? So, like, there's no missing links. And I think that's how we get to faster conclusions.
What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, Omar. And, you know, I'm so excited to get back to our regular routine. You guys know what we do here. We play our most favorite game of halftime, Them the Rules. We got a really exciting one, something I think we're going to get a lot of interesting debates in the comments about this. Duke, talk to us, man. What we got? Come on, take us there.
Big Duke.
Come on, bro.
All right, so listen, hear me out. All right, so I'm going to paint the picture. 2 girls, 1 man. 2 girls, 1 man.
Okay.
Having sex. What's that called?
Threesome.
Okay, it's called a threesome. Is it called a threesome still if it's 2 guys and 1 girl?
I'm going to ask a question first. All the guys are straight?
All the guys are straight?
No.
Not a threesome.
Not a threesome.
It's not a threesome.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not a threesome?
Not a threesome.
Not a threesome.
Not a threesome.
Okay.
You want to know what it is?
Choo. Choo. Choo.
Chugga.
It's a train. That's a train. It's a train.
Wow.
Steam.
Why? Okay. You guys say it's not threesome. Regardless of what it's called. It could be called a train, a car, a plane. I just want to know why it's not a threesome.
Well, what's a threesome? Right?
3 people having sex.
A threesome is 3 people having sex. Mm-hmm. Right? When there's 2 guys and 1 girl.
Okay.
There's not.
But 2 guys and 1 girl still having sex, aren't they?
2 guys and 1.
I mean, 2 guys are having sex with the girl.
Yeah, so like a threesome is when everybody. That's why it's 3. Some.
But
it's when everybody has sex.
But it's still a sexual act.
Yeah, but I'm not engaging in a sexual act with you.
That's why you asked are they straight?
That's why I asked, are they straight? I think everybody has to touch for it to be a threesome.
And we're not talking about handshakes.
Yeah.
We're not talking about slapping hands.
Not talking about
We're not talking about that.
Not talking, I'm not tag. I might tag him in, but that's not tag him in. That's not what we talking about.
That's what we talking about.
You know.
Okay, so help my listeners just clarify. A threesome has nothing to do with gender. It's have everything to do with if everyone is having sex in a triangle.
That's it.
With each other.
That's it.
Right.
At some point within the threesome, all 3 of us.
Right. So if 2 guys
are engaged,
2 guys are kissing each other and having intercourse.
That's a threesome.
Yeah.
And with the girl,
that's a threesome. That's a threesome.
Let me even be fair.
Okay, that's a threesome.
Let me be fair, right? If it's 1 guy and it's 2 girls and like they're taking turns like sitting on his face,
that's
doing things like that, and they not touching each other,
they
ran a train on him.
They ran a train on him.
Okay.
So girls can run trains too.
Yeah, girls can run trains. Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely.
But girls can run trains too. You know, girls are a little bit, just a little bit more sexually fluid than the average male. So you'll see a lot more threesomes with 2 women and 1 male than you'll see with 2 males and 1 woman.
So if a woman says, "Oh man, I had a threesome last night with 2 dudes,"
What do you think about initially?
yeah, what do you think about initially? They ran a train on her.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
about
I
initially.
think she's trying to save herself.
And that's really what it comes down to.
She's trying to
She's
save herself.
face.
Hey, but
you know?
by the way, like, it's no shame.
No shit.
It's no shame. We just distinguishing the difference. Right?
Absolutely.
But
and there is one.
And there is one. Absolutely.
There is one.
I think what's crazy. Prior to today, though, I never heard that breakdown though. Because like people always say, I've always heard people argue, "Hey, that's a threesome," but I've never had the words to like describe. Man, it's just not a threesome. I don't know. It's not a threesome, but it makes all the sense in the world, right? The triangle. If everyone in the triangle, regardless of gender, I mean, if it's 3 girls having sex,
Yep.
that's a threesome.
Threesome.
That's a threesome.
Threesome. You know what's funny is girls understand that when you use women. Right? Like if you talk to a woman, she'll be like, "Oh, I had a threesome before with 2 other girls."
Oh, yeah, that's a threesome.
Right?
Cause we all pleasing each other.
Because we all pleasing each other.
Or trying to. Or trying to.
Or trying to. but I guess they would still say I had a threesome if they had it with 2 dudes too.
See,
right? But I don't think they understand the difference.
No. In that case, it's just more tasteful to call it that.
To call it a threesome.
Yeah, in that case.
Yeah.
But
so you guys know
that's an Amtrak, bro.
like the
Metro.
So it's certain people who, and I'm not talking about swingers when I say this. It's certain people who, and maybe a guy and he's married and he gets off to watching somebody have sex with his wife, right? So typically, like the guy, he'll mess with his wife or whatever, and then the guy is in the room while he's messing with his wife, and then he'll take a seat, and the guy will mess with his wife.
It's not a
right.
threesome.
Nobody ever calls that a threesome.
No.
And that's essentially what we're talking about.
Right.
When it comes to running a train on a girl, like if the 2 guys aren't interacting with each other, it's not a threesome. Yeah. And like women say threesome to kind of like save face, like, "Oh yeah, it was a threesome. I was the main attraction. They really enjoyed me." And it was like, nah, they were using you, for sure. They were using you.
They were using
whether you enjoyed it or not. They were using you. There wasn't like a let's all have a good time.
Or she was using it.
Yeah. Or she was
Either
using
way,
them.
it's still the same.
Right. But what I'm saying, the reason why I say she wasn't using them is because she used the word threesome. The reason why she's saying threesome is to kind of like save face for the situation to happen. When you say threesome, it allows somebody's mind to wonder, like, "Oh, I wonder what they were doing." Like, I'm sure it was 3 people. They was getting it busy. It was lit, right?
It's no secret.
It's no secret
what was going on,
right?
Yeah.
But when you say, "Oh, they ran a train on me,"
no, that's what I was saying. There's no secret as to what was going on in that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But when you let it say threesome, when you say a threesome, it allows the mind for people to wonder and just like let them possibly
create your own reality.
Create your own reality.
Yeah.
But when you say somebody ran a train, like those 2 guys, yeah, they ran a train on me.
It just sounds dirty.
It doesn't sound as appealing. When you tell your girls the story, you may feel judged. But you say a threesome.
Most girls probably ain't sharing that story.
No.
I don't think most women are sharing that story.
You don't think so?
I don't think they share that one.
If women have threesomes, do they share the story with their friends?
I'm not talking about the threesome.
If women get trains ran on them,
I don't think they sharing that.
I don't know.
I don't think women sharing that one.
That's a good question.
You know what? Comment. They're not sharing it with their friends.
Y'all comment.
They might have that one girl who they be like, "I know she did it," so I feel comfortable talking about it with her. Yeah. She's been there, so I'll tell her.
Wow.
But
damn, y'all comment what y'all think.
You're not just getting that off.
Wait, so what's the answer? What's the final answer? What's the final verdict?
Okay, so it sounds to me. Well, okay, so a threesome is 3 people
having sex together.
Yeah. Each individual having sex. Okay. So if it's 2 guys and 1 girl, and the 2 guys are basically straight and not having sex with each other, it's not a threesome.
It's a train, baby.
Okay. And them
the
rules. Them the rules.
Them the rules. You guys heard it here. We want to hear it. Drop it in the comments below what you think, man. We're going to conclude today's or this week's halftime show the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Let's get back to the second half, man. Let's go.
Hey, Duke, you said something in the first half that really, it took me, it honestly.
Took all the halftime?
It took, I wanted to sit back and marinate on this one because honestly, I know our listeners get a lot of value from what we present, and our viewers get a lot of value from what we present as well. But I do too. I do too.
Same.
You know, and one thing that I know that I have a problem with is because I can hold a grudge, I try not to remember certain things that I didn't like. I just remember how it made me feel. So me and my girl, we could be having a conversation and I'll be like, yeah, babe, like I didn't like that. It made me feel like this. She's a person who really tries her best every single day to be the best person she can be. So when you tell her she was wrong, you got to show her where, when, how, what time, when. And like, I don't have that recall like that. So it could be like, she wants to hear Monday at noon, you know, we were eating lunch. Remember, we were at that spot that we like, and you did this, and it made me feel this way. I would like to handle it by doing this, and I don't want to see this again. If I remember it like that, and I'm telling you on Friday, that means I've been holding a grudge for 4 days.
For sure.
I've been sitting on it. So me personally, my recall isn't really that good, and we are very mature relationships now at this point. So what Duke was talking about in the first half is actually extremely important for people who grow up and they're like, I'm not petty. So if somebody telling me I'm doing something wrong, I need to know when, where, and how I was doing it wrong. And that's something that I know that I have to get better at, is not looking at it as like holding a grudge, but just looking at it as, you know, if we're going to grow as a team, this is something that my teammate needs to be better. You know, I can't get mad at my teammate if they want to catch the ball in shooting position and I keep passing it low. Right. And say, I got you the ball. That's not where they want it at.
It's not helping each other.
Nah, it's not helping each other succeed. And, you know, a lot of times we understand what we hear about submission for women, right? And we hear about like your woman submitting to the man, right? But we never talk about the ways for men to submit to their woman. And it's certain things, like small things like that. Like, that's not the way I operate. But because that's what she needs, I'm going to submit myself in that space for her to really, really understand, like, yo, this is how we're going to grow. And like I said, when you mirror your partner, they get to see and they start to do the same thing. You know, it's been extremely beneficial for me.
Yeah. When you say submit to your woman, man, I think I don't want that to go over people's heads, because we're not talking about just bowing down and following your woman, and we're talking about really submitting to your woman's emotions, you know? And that means when you submit to your woman's emotions, that means you're available for whatever she kicking out. Good, bad, ugly. You're available for that, and you got to handle it, you know, as it comes, accordingly as it comes. And that's just kind of what submitting is, understanding, you know what, like, I got to treat her emotions delicately. And again, it's not, you're not going to be 100% all the time. You know, sometimes I know in my head that, damn, in a perfect world, I could handle this better. But just everything in my gut says, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. Not this time. It happens, right? Yep. So sometimes you're going to slip up, right? But for the most part, you want to try to condition yourself and put yourself in the mind frame that, all right, whatever she's kicking back, I'm going to try to handle delicately, you know, because ultimately when we talk about correcting your woman or checking your woman or overcoming issues with your woman, telling her she's wrong, man, it comes down to like how delicate you handle it, you know. And another thing that help in that process is putting yourself, well, trying to make her see herself if the roles were reversed, right? So I try to paint the picture, right? So if I say, hey, you did something wrong and I don't like that, and she's not understanding, I say, okay, look, check this out. I'll create a scenario and I'll just flip it. Yo, how? Just put me in your shoes. How would you feel if I did this to you? And make her really see that. Would you like it? Yes or no?
Yeah. It's a great strategy.
Because she has
too.
yes or no.
It's incredible.
It's a great strategy.
And okay, if it's you wouldn't like it, no. Okay, so if you wouldn't like it, why don't you understand what I'm saying right now? That's how I feel. If you say I don't care, then you're just avoiding no. You're just avoiding the answer no, right? If you say yes, you're gonna be a liar, right? So you had to address it, So a lot of times I just respectfully say, yo, what if the roles were reversed? How would you feel? And another thing I would do too, if it was not necessarily if it was like not necessarily a blatant thing that she did wrong, but let's say you guys are just having issues, you guys are arguing and stuff like that, acknowledge the wrong that you did first. Acknowledge the role that you played. All right, babe, like, you know what, I'm sorry I know sometimes I do this wrong, or I know something, but here's the thing, right? And make it a we thing than just a her thing. Because then she feels like, okay, I'm not just getting attacked.
Wait, so what do you address first? Do you address...
Always make it about you first.
Is it about you first?
Even if it's not.
Because the last thought is what it's like. It's what you're going to remember most, right?
Well, I say not always make it about... Well, okay, so I like to lead with, okay, I think we can get better at this. I think I can do this better. Here's what I think you can do better. Because once you tell her, like, I think we, and you say me, you include yourself, it kind of softens that sting.
Always making it a team thing. I've learned.
It kind of softens that.
It's like when, like, my triggering word, me. Unless you're talking about like your actual feelings, but when you talk about, like, you say something, say you use like, because in my world we don't do that. Trigger. I've learned the hard way.
My world.
Just imagine, like, you tell her.
Yeah.
Just imagine saying, hey, you got to fix this. Babe, you got to fix this. Babe, we got to fix this.
We got something to work on.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And that's not saying, and that kind of just case by case, but if there's something that is in the moment specific that she just did something wrong, right, then you just go ahead and say, hey, babe, like, I just didn't like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's subtle things like that reiterates to your woman, like, I'm in this. During the conversation, it's like a subtle thing, like, I'm in this, right? And I think it's important too, when you might see something that you don't like, understanding that you're doing life with somebody, you might not always need to say something in that moment.
Yeah.
What? Because, like, allowing space for, like, self-correction is a thing too.
Yeah.
Like, that is a thing as well.
Is there anything that warrants a check on the spot?
A check on the spot?
On the spot.
In public?
Is there anything?
In public?
Is there anything?
You can't see that. We got discourse. Nah.
You can't see it.
You can't see it.
We can't let y'all see how, no.
But when we say a check on the spot, we saying as soon as me and you get alone, yes. Like, let's say we are in the Uber.
Or when we sit down at the movies. Hey, look, check this out.
Hey, look, I would have liked to see that go this way. That didn't happen like that.
I'm very disappointed in the way that went down.
Yeah, no, for real. But you gotta be, I ain't gonna lie, she's gotta know it's coming. It can't be like whoa, where'd that come from? Like, she gotta know she was out of pocket too.
Yo,
like, she's gotta know that.
So blatant.
It gotta be so blatant to where she's like,
yeah, I knew it.
I blew that one.
Yeah,
I blew that one. Cause I've been there, and you still gotta throttle that gas as well. Like, you still can't go full throttle.
No,
you still gotta play with that one a little bit as well. Because you could check, but
like
you still got
the stick. Off the clutch, on the gas. Off the clutch, on the gas.
You have to end that conversation with love as well.
Yeah.
You can say everything that you need to say, but you have to end that with love. But, like, me personally, I like to stay away from cuss words. I don't really use cuss words when me and my woman are having any conversation. Stay away from those, man. And, like, my tone's terrible when, you guys know, my tone's terrible when I'm talking to y'all about something I'm frustrated about. She's never seen that guy.
Yeah. Curse words is big.
I stay away from cuss words
because curse words, we associate curse words with heightened emotion.
Yep.
And the curse words for a lot of people are trigger words.
Yeah.
Right. When you start talking like that, you be like, it starts having a cordial conversation becomes secondary.
Yeah.
Now it's just about how you feel. You just want to get that off. You know?
And that sends the person in the defense.
Yeah. So
And you can't check nobody like that.
you can't check anybody like
I'm not
that.
hearing anything.
Yeah, because now you're trying to sun me.
Yup.
You know, I wouldn't want that for myself. You know, so if my girl do that to me, then I'm like not even listening. So it's the same thing. You know, we can't expect to just talk to people how we want, our girl, our friends, and then expect them to receive it in a proper manner. That's another thing, right? If we expect, because the whole point of us telling our women, "Hey, you're wrong," is because we want changed behavior or want a solution, right? It's not just to say, "Yo, I'm your pops," like, listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we want something to come out of it. And if we really want something to come out of it, then we're going to be just more, you know, mindful and conscious of how we're spinning it out, because it's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to just kind of retreat or fight back. We want them to actually hear what we're saying.
Now, I know this conversation is about how to respectfully check your woman, but is it safe to say that these tactics and strategies work both ways?
Facts.
Too, right? Like if a woman needed to check a man,
Yeah.
they will go about it the same way. It's not like there's different rules for the man or the woman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's different rules, but I just think that it's one of those things that because of the thing that men have, where it's just like, yo, I'm here to just kind of submit to my woman's emotions. And if she's mad, it's because, you know, she's emotional, right? So a lot of things she says that are mean, right, or her tone of voice, it comes from emotion. She's emotional, right? So that's a thing where, as opposed to, we don't really have that thing about men where it's okay for us to do that, right? Especially because the dynamic between us and women is like, this is my queen, I'm supposed to protect her and be delicate with her. You really have to be delicate with us.
Yeah.
I mean, you should.
But
Right?
This is kind of off topic, but doesn't that kind of take away from their accountability?
Well, absolutely.
Doesn't like they become less accountable when they get to exercise that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's another topic, another.
And that's why I said that's another topic for us to dive into.
Sure.
But like,
That's why it's so important by who you choose, though.
Yeah.
And that comes down to your accountability. So,
Yeah.
like, if you choosing somebody that's going to do that, you know, and not going to communicate, like, you chose that person. You know, unfortunately, I hate to do it like that, but we could only be accountable for ourselves. And, you know, like, I know me, I have to communicate. You know, I heard a quote that the shortest distance between two people is communication, no matter what it is. And I'm gonna always communicate like how I feel. And I've been getting better to get into a point to where it's saying, you hurt my feelings. My feelings was hurt, and I felt like this, and I wanted to feel like this.
yeah,
That's a lot for a man
yeah,
to say that, because if that's not received, you're like, wow, well, there goes my heart on the table.
Man.
You know,
I'm never gonna get exposed like that again.
And you know,
Yeah.
and that's how you feel.
Yep.
And you know, I'm thankful that when I'm in those positions, I have a person that can actually receive that. You know, and then self-correct and then apologize as well. Apologizing is really important too. You know, like, that's really important. You know what? Now that I realize I was wrong for that, thank you for explaining it. I want to apologize for that. I want to apologize I didn't see it like that at first. You know, I will be taking away credit from you by saying that I couldn't learn something from you. So thank you for teaching me that.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've learned a lot of these relationships, guys. You know, I've learned a lot of these relationships, man.
Man, it's like, it's crazy how like the emotions we go through in a relationship, you know, and how it's not strategic, but you do just got to be aware of how to handle things, you know, and handle people. And for me, bro, I remember, and I'm like this now, and I'm way, way better now, but I do remember a point in time where me and Chanel would get into an argument, right? And I remember one specific argument we got in, and I didn't have no kind of just diffusion in me. I was like, let's go. Right? Because I just, emotionally, I was just like, yo, my emotions matter too.
At this point, you hadn't seen the rules to arguing.
Nah.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I said, yo, my emotions matter too. I'm like, fuck it. You can't do that.
My emotions matter
Yo,
too.
yeah, you can't do that, right? So I'm like, all right, well, if you feel like you just want to say whatever and raise your voice and curse, I'm gonna meet you right there, and I'm gonna take it further to you, right? And in those moments, I would argue and I would say things that were hurtful just to hurt her
On purpose.
on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And then I will, think about it. After the fact, and be like, damn, like that's not even my character. That's not even my character. Like, and it was like, yo, I'm not proud of myself for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, my fucking relationship is like rocky. Now my relation, now we not sleep. Now we're going to sleep, not speaking to each other. It's
friction.
And it's like it's not a healthy place to be in. You know what I mean? And especially when you live with somebody and like this person, somebody you care about, right? Someone you do anything for, and when it's off, it's just you off. Yep. So like everything. Now that was like early in our relationship, and now it's just like, all right, we have an argument or have a dispute or disagree, and like maybe in 20 minutes it'd be funny. I mean, maybe in 20 minutes I catch her in the kitchen and I'll be like, we just start laughing, because we just know how to do it now. Yep. And it's not hurtful. It's just simply, I think you was wrong. And like you ain't gonna like that because we all got pride and ego. But you was wrong for that. Yep. But it's not about like what the fuck you doing and like all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I think once I got to this point, my disputes became much more short-lived and just really trivial, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would suggest. I would definitely suggest people just kind of do all the things we just talked about, man. Just like watch your tone of voice.
What I've just learned through observation, most importantly, was when you get like a lot of that pushback, it's a lot has to do with showcasing to your girl that this is a safe place. I am able to lead. And she does a lot of challenging to where it's like, I don't know yet. I don't really know yet. That's what a lot of those challenges are. Or it's just like, you know what? He's able to lead. Let's see if he's able to love me properly. Let me see if I flip out, how he feel about me after I flip out. And like I've experienced it. I'm like, why are you acting like, okay, that's what it is. You want me to love you in spite of. Okay, you want me to love you through this. All right, for sure. I'll submit to your emotions. I chose you. I'll be here.
Yeah.
And like a lot of that is for them, like I said, you showed them that mirror. It's like eye-opening, like, dang, like I was really tripping. And this fool stayed. Everybody else who I did that to left me. You know what? This is a safe space. This is a safe space. And you start to feel, like Duke said, those arguments that last 3-4 days. Now then it go down to like a day. Then it go down to 20 minutes. Then it go down to like, okay, it was in that moment.
It was in that moment.
It was in that moment.
It was
in that moment. Like I trust him. It's all good. Like it's all. He still loves me after this conversation. Like it's all good. I think it's special. I think like breaking through those things, as Duke calls them, the growing pains of your relationship. Like fellas, I'm sure you listen to this and you're like, you know what? It's something that I really wanted to tell my girlfriend. Don't do it on behalf of Nice and Neat. Like,
Be strategic.
Yeah, be strategic.
Know
Understand who your woman is.
Know your partner, man. Yeah. Take the right approach.
Take the right approach for sure.
Take every piece of advice that we give, every gem, every nugget with a grain of salt, man. It's like, maybe it's applicable to you in your life. Maybe some things are, some things aren't. Always fill it out. Know your woman. Know who you're talking to. Don't just take everything, like Jamal said, everything that we saying, throwing it at your woman.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that.
I'm gonna use that one. Nah. Have some discretion.
Yeah, no, but I've learned a lot from you guys today. I've not only today, man. I do want to tell y'all, I feel prepared in my relationship because watching y'all for years, Like, I'll sit down and you guys probably thought we was just talking. No, I'm getting game. These guys give me game about relationships. They was in a relationship. Oh, you've been in a relationship for 4 or 5 years almost.
4 years, yeah.
Duke, you've been in a relationship going on 3 years. This upcoming year.
Just past 3 years.
Just past 3 years. Congratulations on that. And so it's like I'm new booty to the club, bro.
New booty.
like I'm new, and you know, just like being able to have the conversations that we have and being able to see the patience that you've developed over years. Because like, once again, this shit didn't happen overnight.
No, it didn't.
You know, like, we're not having conversations because like things happen overnight.
And we're still a work in progress.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely.
Still a work in progress.
Definitely.
Man.
The thing that we really want you guys to take away from this episode, man, is to just approach certain altercations or issues, you know, mindfully, right? And be respectful of how you're doing it, man. Tone of voice, where you're doing it, you know, what you say, what words you use, you know, how you put yourself in the situation first, how you make it about you for a little bit to diffuse the situation. There's a bunch of things we talked about that we want you guys to take away because it's important, I think, to the success of a lot of relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, communication is a big part of it. So, we have to like treat it like it is. So that's the episode, guys. For all our listeners, man, make sure you guys are tapped in with us, and make sure you guys leave some feedback on our Spotify, on our Apple Podcast. For all our viewers, continue to rock with us on YouTube. You guys can follow us on YouTube, Nice and Neat the Podcast. Follow us on Nice and Neat the Podcast on all streaming platforms. Make sure you guys follow Nice and Neat the Podcast now on TikTok.
Yay.
Hello.
All right. On Instagram, are we at 20,000 followers on Instagram?
We're just about.
We're a little over
21.
20K.
20.1.
Oh, we're over 21. Hey, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys are tapped in with us on our individual profiles. Follow Jalon at just.Jalon on Instagram. Follow O at Omar.bolden on Instagram. I always fuck that up. But and follow myself at Duke on Instagram. Till next time, guys. Thanks for tapping in. A lot of love. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old, now I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah.